watching DIDAC Talks Podcast. Today I'm joined with Chef Arjyo Banerjee, who is a Chief Culinary Officer at Compass Group India. Thank you so much, sir, for being here with us today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
So, sir, my first question to you would be, how important is it for universities to give a healthy, nutritious diet as compared to fast and convenient options?
Well, fast and convenient is always convenient. But I think looking at how our lifestyles have changed, I think it's of paramount importance to be able to provide the right kind of balanced meals. And when we talk about balanced meals, we're looking at the macronutrients, essentially the carbohydrates, the fats, the protein, fiber, added sugar, added salt. So balancing that, ensuring that we have a right representation of fresh fruits and vegetables. India, unfortunately, has a protein deficiency that we see amongst kids, and it continues with students getting into colleges and universities. So how do we really focus on the right amount of protein consumption? Are some of the aspects that we look at. We should also be very clear about how lifestyles of students have changed, right? So people don't work out or work as hard as they used to. Our lifestyles have become far more sedentary. People are with gadgets, they're not moving around much. Thus, the kind of food that we serve, the kind of food that these students eat is of utmost importance to be able to give them a very balanced food as well as nutrition which can power their learning and their physical and emotional health.
My next question to you would be, in your opinion, what can be a balanced diet for young adults?
Well, again, when you talk about a balanced diet, we are in India facing a lot of problems in terms of non-communicable diseases or NCDs, and that's because of the imbalance which has already been caused, right? So we look at our youth today and our kids today under the age of 19, 20. A lot of them have been diagnosed with hypertension. About 20% of kids have hypertension. About 25% are either pre-diabetic or diabetic. There is a huge amount of obesity that we are seeing, and this is all due to imbalance. Now, to bring in the balance, what we really need to do is that we must have the right quantities, right, of the different macronutrients. So carbs, which is the rice and the rotis and the chapatis, etc., that we eat. How do we ensure that we are having the right kind of carbs? And by that, I mean carbs with low GI or low glycemic index, which release sugar at a slower, lower rate into your bloodstream, which leaves you with energy for a longer duration. Thus, we recommend complex carbs, which ensures that we are using whole grains, millets, etc. So that's one big element. The second big element is, how do we ensure that we control oils and fats? The recommended daily allowance is about 28-30 grams, but making people aware and ensuring that we are cooking right, using the right methods and techniques to be able to deliver great products and great taste is the second bit that we should look at. Dietary fiber is extremely important in our overall well-being. So a lot of fresh fruits, vegetables. About 50% of your plate ideally should be made up of fresh fruits and vegetables, and potato does not count as a vegetable here, right? And then the final bit is some of the other baddies, which is added salt and added sugar. So keeping a watch on these two other ingredients, I think, are the key. And then, of course, there are certain other micronutrients which we need to look at. But if you are able to manage the macros well, I think you should be in a good space.
What kind of nutrition standards should universities or higher education institutes set for their students and the meal they provide?
Well, there is something called the WELL certification, which is typically followed by a lot of corporates. It has a set of multiple parameters on which we judge if the meal or the meal program offered is of a healthy and nutritious standard or not, right? And it starts with something as simple as the placement of the right kind of ingredients at the beginning of the meal. So do you fill up your plates with polished grains or vegetables? As simple as that. The beverages that we offer in our cafes, in our hostels, etc., how do we ensure that we leave the sugar addition to the consumer or the student and not have pre-added sugar? We look at the right balance of the macronutrients that I've spoken about in the past. We look at protein and the right kind and the adequate amount of protein and a guidance around it. And this guidance can easily be provided by providing the nutritional information, the allergen cards, etc. So well is a very it's a double well, but well certification is very beautifully planned to be able to ensure and see that we are able to cover each and every aspect, right from presentation of the food to the representation of the different ingredients, to ensure that anything and everything that's provided to students or consumers is well balanced, and there is the adequate information for people to take informed decisions in terms of their food choices.
So as we know, the FSSAI is actively having the Eat Right campaign. So what role can the universities or institutions play to support it?
Well, I think it's not just the FSSAI, right? There is a huge impending worry that is there. The Prime Minister, the Health Minister, everybody is talking about how do we start looking at some of the ingredients which are considered not great for us. How do we start looking at these ingredients really, really deeply and understand the consumption and limit it? FSSAI has played a wonderful role in being able to define certain standards in terms of menu representation, the kind of choices that we must have, the different nutrients that really form a meal, the kind of basic information that every student or consumer should have access to, which includes, of course, calorific values, which includes allergen information. So FSSAI has, in a very rounded form, set up a set of guidelines which makes it easy for the service provider or the food provider to know exactly what they need to do. The students and the teachers and whoever is accessing the food has a very, very clear information of what they are eating, and the quantities in terms of the choices or the variety is well defined. So this ensures that the meal that is being provided is well balanced and right nutritionally for the kind of consumers that we are serving.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing these valuable insights with us today. This is DIDAC Talks Podcast 2025.